Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here with another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are here at Kansas for the second race in this round of the chase. As always, Brandon is to my right in the 24 Napa Chevy, and we will see how we fare here at Kansas. Now, Kansas is kind of like Chicago. Chicago has a more curved backstretch, but Kansas is about the same length and relatively the same amount of banking, so I imagine if we can get the high line wound up, we might be able to make some good moves on that outside. We will see what happens though. We'll have to wait for these guys to figure out their lives, but the pace car is off and we are ready to go racing one more time. Here we go, and green flag is in the air, spinning the tires a bit in second gear. Couldn't really get the power down. Up to fourth gear now. We'll take a nice wide arc into turn one, let the banking support us, and then try to pick and choose our battles. It looks like the AI is running too wide. They can't get away from each other right at present. Looks like Brandon's going to try to make it 3 wide under the 34. We'll go under the 44 of Brian Scott. Chris Buescher comes down to block us, and Casey Mears is running that high line. Let's stick to the bottom here. We'll make it 3 wide if we can. Use all of that apron to our advantage and just make sure that we're back up on the racetrack before turn one. Okay, a little aggressive. I got into the brakes a little bit too hard there and slid up the track. We can pick and choose our battles here. Looks like the high line might be the way to go, so let's try the high line around Michael McDowell in the 95 and shoot around the outside. We're making some moves. Well, maybe just a little bit. Oh, squeezing us up to the wall. He didn't expect us to be there. I really can't fault him for that. That's not a move that you would expect a driver to make, but it worked out well for us. Around the 43 of Almirola, and let's see if we can get up next to Jeffrey Earnhardt down here on the back stretch. Excellent, he sees us. We've got the momentum on the high line. Looks like Brandon's going 3 wide, so I don't want to go to the outside of Stenhouse here and make it 4 wide. I have to choose my battles better, and that certainly wouldn't bode well for us. We're stuck up here in the middle line here. Brandon is, whoa, wreck in front of us. Truex, spin. Okay, we're good. We're racing back to the line. Let's see if we can make up a few spots, because this is the old rules. So there is no freezing the field until we get back to the line. We could take Trevor Bayne here, which I believe we will, and maybe, just maybe, get a high line run around the 32. Excellent. Let's charge, see if we can get around Stenhouse as well. Nope, we'll be behind the 17 for the yellow flag, and Brandon's made up some ground. Hard to really tell what happened there, but it looked like everyone was fighting for the same real estate going into turn one, and Martin Truex Jr. was the big loser in that exchange. So we'll roll under caution here, get it single file, and catch our breath a bit. The car feels pretty decent. Oh, come on, Ricky. Move. Yeah, the AI can't figure their life out on how to get caught back up to the pace car, it seems. That's one thing about the AI that I notice under yellows, is sometimes it's very difficult for the AI to go. We're like, look how much space is between Stenhouse and the car in front here. All right, here we go. We'll get caught back up to the field. Pit road is open, but we're already past pit road when that happens. And we can see the leader up there. We've made up some ground, and passing Truex Jr. was the easiest pass on the racetrack we can make today, considering, well, he was sideways and nose first into the wall. We'll definitely have to check the replay on that and see exactly what happened, but there's the skid marks straight up into the wall, and it looks like he spun around a few times and someone slid right up against the wall for a good bit through turn one, and then ultimately stopped going into turn two. With these cars single file now, I think we can make that high line work a little bit better. Trying to avoid those 3 wide situations and 4 wide situations on a relatively narrow racing line, I have to say. You're good for 2 lanes, but once you start getting into that 3rd groove, it's tough to really hold on to the car. And, you know, the easier we can make the passes, the better for sure. Hopefully when we come back around, we'll get the 1 to go for the green flag. Yellow flags are a time of boredom, but a good time to sort of regroup and let the tires cool off and sort of adjust the line. More beneficial for us, though, is definitely the single file approach. I believe we are much faster than everyone here, but we just need the real estate to make it work. Looks like we'll be going around at least another time. Kansas is pretty fun, pretty fast. You're not out of the gas for long. What in the world is happening to the 42 there? So Larson pulls down to the apron, and I don't see anything wrong with his engine. He's not dropping anything on the racetrack. Curiouser and curiouser. Why would Larson be pitting this time around? I mean, he's definitely looking like he's pitting. He's on the apron. If he doesn't pit, that's a fault in the AI for sure. So if Larson does indeed pit, and I think he will, this will be okay, then the next easiest pass we'll make all day. People aren't supposed to be pitting. We don't have the wear factor turned up or anything like that, so it should be just 40 miles of a full tank and fresh tires, so I have no idea why Larson would be going down to the bottom like that. At least this isn't happening with on the coming to the green lap, because the car behind Larson can't technically pass him until he crosses the pit road entry line, which would bottleneck everyone up, including myself. But there he goes, down to pit road. Larson goes. Well, okay, buddy, see you later. And a 1 lap to green. The field is tightening up, and there we go. So when we come back this time around, I will try to make the 2nd groove work. At least that's, whoa, okay, hello 30. So it looks like the 30 was also involved in that wreck with Truex. With Truex not coming back around, I think he is done for the day. But that 30 managed to get away, so a lapper up there interfering with the leaders, which may help or may hurt. Granted, I'm sure the leaders will just pick up the throttle and drive right on by. But once the 30 gets down to the middle of the pack, probably about where we are, he'll actually be a thorn in our side. He'll be pretty slow, I imagine. I didn't see any damage, but the 30 car as a whole is pretty slow. All right, through 3 and 4, one more time coming to the green flag. Looks like we've got Jeffrey Earnhardt behind us, and I hope that I don't spin the tires. 2nd gear really wasn't comfortable to accelerate from. So maybe starting in 3rd gear? No, probably 2nd gear would be best for us. Even with a little bit of tire slip, it's still more acceleration I think we would get out of 3rd gear. But the pace car is off. Let's see what happens to this 30, and let's see what happens to us. Green flag in the air, a really good start, and they are 3 wide already. Looks like Blaney tried, wow. Okay, so the 43 got a really good run on the outside. There goes Tony. Okay, Tony Stewart down to pit road. 3 wide here. Luckily, they figured that out. Looks like Stenhouse will complete the pass. Maybe. Nope, the high line is working. We'll keep the high line working as much as we can. See if we can get alongside the 21 and pinch them down. Oh, yeah. 21 will be kind of slow. He knows we're up here, though, so he won't squeeze us up into the wall. But we're stuck behind the 23 now. And the 43 is right on our corner, and he isn't letting us go. They're 3 wide in front of us. We are in a hornet's nest. Move, Dr. Pepper, or you're going to need a doctor here in a minute. All right, so we're dropping back, not by choice, but by position. I'm getting the shaft here. I need to make this work. Oh, wow, look at Brandon, 4 wide up there, just rim riding Larson style. He's going to complete that pass. He made up a lot of positions there. That was what I wanted to do. All right, around the 6, and they're starting to, oh, geez, there's that 30. This 30 is not going to bode well for us. We need to get around him as fast as we can. I think we can do it. We've got the run on the high line. Nope, he comes up. Move, but oh, he hooked. Well, we got into the 30 a bit. We're fine. Just a little bit of scrapage. Yellow flag is back out for the 30. Let's see if we can make up any ground because we haven't taken the yellow flag yet. Let's charge hard, get around Larson. Wait, he pitted. He should be a lap down. What is he doing? End of the pacing line. I know there's an accident. Who are we behind? The 42. You mean to tell me that the 42 has us beat? He pitted, he came out, and now he is in front of us. How in the world does that work? Maybe he didn't get pinned a lap down. Maybe it was just like a 4-tire change in something, and he was coming from the back and he made it through that spin better than we did. I tell you what, that is confusing as all get out. That makes me wonder if Tony Stewart is okay. Like Tony pitted, coming like to the green, like on that green flag lap, Tony Stewart ducked to the bottom, and I don't see him back there. I guess when we get the one to go, and the lap cars start getting their lap back, or, you know, start moving up to the bottom lane, maybe we'll see Tony Stewart? That's got me all perplexed. Yeah, okay. That's cool. But I'll just roll with that. That Larson didn't get pinned a lap down. He came back on the track, started dead last, and then ended up passing us, which is crazy. But certainly not unheard of. But let's hope for a better start next time. The laps are ticking down, and we really didn't make up a whole lot of ground that series because we were bottlenecked up on the high line behind 2 lanes of incredibly slow cars. I think if we can get some clean air, we can run those leaders down. I'm still pretty optimistic, and I don't see any damage on the right side. I'm sure we got scraped up a little bit, but we really didn't hit him that hard. It was like that little hook when he moved to the right or I moved to the left, one of the two, and just barely clipped him, and into the wall he went, and that actually pushed us back down away from the wreck and out of the wall. I will say that wreck could have been a whole lot worse, so we got away with that one, pretty lucky. It just sucks 2 caution flags in the first 40 miles here. We ain't got time to play around. So time will continue to tick. We will see if we can pass Larson a 3rd time or a 2nd time, however many times we've passed Kyle Larson today. We'll see if we can get by him. And yeah, that Dr. Pepper car, the Earnhardt car, they're going to be trouble on this restart. And that 43 is making aggressive moves too, so we have to look out for him. Looks like, is that Biffle behind us in the Cheez-It car? So, interesting cars around us for sure, and I don't think Larson should be back here, so maybe we can follow Kyle up through the field if he's going to make any forward progress. Our windshield is definitely splattered from all of the spinning debris and the oil that was put down, but I can see just fine. No need to pit for that. Although, I mean, there's only 4 cars behind me. That's, you know, if I get one good run. Hey, come on, Kyle, speed up. If I get one good run, I can pass those 4 cars back. Yeah, 31st here. So technically 9 cars behind us. Yeah, here comes some more. Looks like they pitted from the last wreck, so pitting now wouldn't be good. Besides, we're 1 lap to go until the green. And there goes Tony. Yeah, so Tony was a lap down. We were under green when he pitted, so wasn't good for him. That makes me wonder why Larson and Stewart pitted. Larson pitted when he should have, I guess. You know, pitting under yellow, he was able to catch back up, no penalty, no problem. But Tony pitted when we were going up to green, so by the time he got to pit road, we were already coming back around him, at least from the first lap. We didn't even really get one in the books. So let's try for a cleaner restart this time. Hopefully no one chops us off or moves up to the high line when we've got a head of steam, because that high line is definitely working and I want to continue using that the rest of this race. Looks like Tony's the only one down there too that might give Jimmy Johnson some trouble. No, there's a second car. Wait, is that Paul Menard down on the apron pitting? What in the world are these cars doing? Oh, and poor Brandon, he's the car right behind Paul, so he can't go on the green flag until Paul Menard crosses the pit road line. Otherwise, they'd be passing under yellow. But we are back under green. Sliding the tires a bit in second gear. Everyone is fanning out before they get to the line. Fourth gear. Now let's concentrate on what's in front of us. I don't think anyone is really going to pose too much of a threat behind us. Let's get this car wound up on the high line, get as much steam as we can, and catch up to Chris Buescher. He'll be our first target. Yeah, Larson seems to be making some moves, or at least trying. He might not be a bad car to follow. And he is on the bottom, which is kind of the preferred line. But let's see where the 34 goes, and we will adjust accordingly. All right, so, Buescher cuts me off trying to get under Mears. See, this is the trouble I'm having. I know I'm faster. I just need to get a fender beside these guys and push. Well, we'll be around the 34 this time, and Mears will probably drop to the bottom. Yes, so we'll be behind Boyer. We can pick up a couple more spots here with Mears and the 23, David Reagan. And that 42 is definitely making some ground. He's passing Earnhardt now, and he's focusing his sights on Trevor Bayne. He might not be bad. All right, we can't get down to the bottom, but Boyer will move down. Let's get around this high line here and see that 43 one more time. We've raced around Eric Almirola all day today. Oh, and it looks like Larson was trying to cut his nose off there. But we got by Larson, and there's single file up here, which is great for me, and that looks like Tony, who is kind of holding this line at bay. I think that's why we're getting such a good run on these cars here, is because Tony Stewart was sort of a rolling roadblock. He's up on the high line now. We could catch him. And then, oh, this may work out well for us. If we can get by the 31, we can pull up past Tony and sort of, no, the 31 will be too fast for us to cut him off. But Tony navigated traffic a whole lot better than that 30 car, I will tell you that. All right, so there's Biffle. So that wasn't Biffle behind us, but we will put him behind us and make short work of him and set our sights on Kurt Busch. I believe that's the leader in turn 1 and 2 now. So we haven't really lost touch with the leaders, considering how slow we sort of have been. Yeah, there's the leader going into turn 3 now. And then he's going into turn 4 now. So we're about a quarter lap behind. And that's certainly doable if we can get some clean air. Kurt Busch lets us go, which he does. Let's focus on Allmendinger. And oh, look, he's going under the number 7. Well, at least he's trying. I know, I'm keep digging. I will dig until there is no digging to do. Oh, nice run here. Excellent. Let's get under the 47 as best we can on... Oh, okay. Figures the 47 wants to try to make a pass, which blocks me in my lane, and then he just sort of gives him the spot back. I tell you, that was wasted time. Completely wasted time. If he was going to make a pass, then do it. Don't roll back and give the 7 the spot. But we can put our fender right there beside him. Come on, 7. Move. All right, so looks like Allmendinger did complete the pass, and we are actually completing the pass on the 7. Don't come up into me, AJ. All right, Logano is up here. I'm already looking at him. We should be able to clear the 47 now, coming off of this turn, and we'll get a really big run down the front stretch here, as long as I don't plow the wall. And let's get under Logano. The leaders are starting to step out. 5 laps to go. We're going to have to run as hard as we can for these next 5 laps. We can get around Joey for sure, and we could probably get around Brad and probably Austin if I had to place a bet, but it looks like that gap between Austin and it looks like Hamlin is probably too big for me to overcome in just 5 laps. I'm coming to 4 laps now. So we'll get all we can get out of it. We were a victim of bad circumstances this race. We're pinned behind slower cars and got caught up in that wreck, which was probably my fault in hindsight, but come on, you can't be 20 miles an hour slower than the rest of the pack and slowing everybody up. If this was real NASCAR, that 30 would have been black flag. All right, let's get around the 3. All right, we've got a fender on him. We might be able to catch this car in front. We have clean air now. Oh, Austin isn't going to let us go. Roll out, Austin. We've got you beat. We're in the top 10 now. And considering we started 31st from that restart, I mean, we've passed 20 cars. And if they go too wide, that'll help us out a ton. But these laps are so fast that we're not going to be able to get up there, I don't believe. But the Gibbs cars are fighting hard right there, and Kevin Harvick right in front of them. Hey Harvick, be a pal and just like sort of ride the brake in front of these guys, please. That would be awesome. Already 2 laps to go. We're driving the wheels off of this thing. We're much faster than anyone here. We might be able to get Dale Jr. there. It would have to be a momentous final lap for us to do that. Perhaps if he tries to go under Hamlin and they ride side by side this last lap, we might be able to do something about it. Really loose on the bottom, but we are running hard. White flag in the air. One more time around Kansas. All right, Kenseth is going to try to make it too wide. This will help. If he can slow down this group in front, we might be able to get Dale. Oh, we're pushing. I got back to the throttle a little bit too soon there and pushed up. This turn is where we're really going to make it. All right, we're right on this bumper. We can catch the fender. Go, 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 go. Power, 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 power. All right, I think we can clear Junior. We're side by side. We got him. We beat Dale Jr. back to the line in a pretty good last lap. It's a shame we couldn't get more, but we got 9th out of it, out of 27 laps. 2 caution periods for what, 3-4 laps each. So essentially, we only had 20 laps and made up 30 spots. So I definitely cannot complain about that race, but poof, what a race it was. Let's get down to pit road and park. Oh, looks like Brandon's taking that line out there. He probably won this one. He was able to get through traffic much better. There he goes, the donuts and burnout on the front stretch. And there we are with a solid top 10, considering all the troubles that we had to deal with. Let's take a look at these wrecks here and see what transpired, especially on lap 1. Oh, there was 4 wide right there. All right, so lap 4, starting lap 4, there they are. Whoa, okay, so it looks like that was pretty quick, but it looks like the 6 goes up into the 23, and the 23, oh, 4 wide right there. There's Brandon down there on the apron. Did Brandon touch anyone? No, he was just riding, and Trevor Bayne sort of squeezed up Richardson in the 27, got into Danica in the 10, and Martin Truex Jr. ended up getting the short end of the stick on that one, hard into the wall, same as the 26. So Danica managed to get out okay, but the 26 with a lot of heavy rear end damage, and Martin Truex Jr. was our, oh, there was Martin, so Martin got away okay. So the big loser in that exchange was the 26. And now let's take a look at what screwed us on the backstretch. We were following the 30. Yeah, that's what happened. The 30 got bottlenecked, and there's the 30, Josh Wise, who's in front of Boyer right there. And we have a head of steam. We're coming around the outside. We get around Boyer. The 30 comes up. Oh, I didn't even hit him. Maybe just a bit. But that's going to do it for me in this week, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we are at Talladega for some restrictor plate racing. But that's going to do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold, and I will see you in the next NASCAR Racing 2003 season video. Take care.